It began as a careless joke, the kind that sounds harmless when everyone is laughing. Music is loud, and nobody pauses long enough to imagine consequences. We were at the lake house that weekend. Me, my husband Ryan, and a group of friends celebrating my birthday. Ryan had been the easy target all night, making terrible dad jokes, acting playfully overprotective, laughing at himself while everyone laughed at him. It felt normal, comfortable. Then, Claire, my best friend, tossed out the idea. What if we leave him at a rest stop tomorrow when we get gas? Just for laughs. People laughed immediately. It sounded ridiculous, harmless, temporary, and in that careless moment, the moment where group laughter replaces judgment, I agreed. That was the decision I would replay in my mind 1,000 times. The next morning, halfway back to the city, we pulled into a fuel station. WL. Ryan stepped out to grab snacks. He smiled when he walked inside. No suspicion, no tension, just normal. Claire looked at me and winked. Now or never. I hesitated, just a second. But seconds disappear fast when people are watching you. Someone laughed from the back seat. He'll just Uber. It's funny, it's nothing. So I started the car, and we drove away. In the rearview mirror, I saw him step out of the store holding 2 bags of chips. Confusion settling slowly across his face as the car pulled away. I told myself we'd circle back. I told myself he'd call immediately. I told myself it was harmless, but an hour passed. No call. Then my phone buzzed. Not Ryan, my mum. Did you guys make it home safe? Something tightened in my chest, small at first, then sharp. When we reached home, I called him. No answer. I texted, "Okay, joke's over. You can yell at me now." Nothing. His phone went to voicemail. That was the moment the laughter died. Claire tried to calm me. "He's messing with you now. He's making you panic on purpose." Ryan didn't do that. Ryan wasn't someone who played emotional games. I called the gas station. No one remembered him. I called local police. Nothing. Tow companies. Nothing. The memory of everyone laughing in the car, replayed in my head, no longer funny, just cruel. By evening, panic had turned physical. I paced the living room, checked my phone constantly, listened for a car that never came. We drove back to the rest stop. Claire came with me, quieter now. We walked along the parking lot, scanning shadows, calling his name into empty air. The highway answered with silence. His wallet was still at home. His keys were still at home. Everything that mattered was still here, except him. My hands shook on the steering wheel as guilt settled in, heavy and unavoidable. I stood in the cold air, whispering into nothing. "Please, just come home." The night gave no response. Sleep didn't come. Every sound outside felt like possibility. Every minute felt like punishment. I couldn't stop seeing his face, that expression. Surprise, confusion, hurt. I didn't notice until it was too late. 3 days passed. No message, no call, no sign. The police opened a missing person case. Reporters appeared. Neighbors whispered. Friends, the same ones who laughed, stopped answering my messages. My mother cried on the phone. "I can't believe you did that." "Neither could I regret," is louder than any argument. And it doesn't stop. Every minute stretched longer than the last. I replayed the moment again and again, the ignition turning, the car moving, the mirror shrinking, the image of my husband standing alone. I kept thinking the story would end with him walking through the door angry, but doors stayed closed. Days turned into a waiting that felt endless, and the worst part wasn't fear. It was the realization that sometimes a single careless moment can rewrite an entire life. Not because you meant harm, but because harm doesn't require intention. Only one decision, 1 second, 1 laugh. Every minute felt like punishment. I stopped eating normally, stopped sleeping properly, stopped living. Most days I just sat by the window, watching the street, waiting for headlights that never appeared, waiting for a door that never opened, waiting for the moment I could undo what I did. But time doesn't reverse for regret. On the 5th night, there was a knock. Soft, slow. My heart slammed against my ribs so hard it hurt. For a second, I was afraid to move. Afraid that opening the door would prove he still wasn't there. I opened it. Ryan stood on the porch, covered in dirt, jacket torn, face pale, but it was his eyes that frightened me. They were different, hard, quiet, distant. He looked like someone who had walked through something alone and decided not to come back the same. His hands trembled slightly, yet his voice stayed calm. "To calm. Hi," he said quietly. "Miss me?" My knees almost gave out. Relief crashed into guilt so violently I could barely breathe. I stepped forward to hug him. He stepped back. No anger, no shouting, just distance. "You left me," he said softly, "miles away. Alone." Tears spilled immediately as words rushed out. Apologies, explanations, desperate attempts to shrink the damage. It was a joke. I didn't think. He stared at me. "A joke," he repeated. His voice stayed low, controlled, the kind of calm that carries more weight than rage. "You thought abandoning your husband in the middle of nowhere was funny, see?" He walked past me into the house, moving slowly, looking around like he was visiting a place that used to belong to him. Claire arrived minutes later after hearing he was back. Ryan looked at her. "Cold, you thought it was funny too, didn't you?" She stumbled over words, excuses, nervous apologies, claims it wasn't meant to hurt. Ryan gave a small smile. Not warm, not kind, just final. He didn't argue, didn't raise his voice. He simply began gathering his things, his guitar, his books, his jacket. Every movement was quiet, deliberate, detached. "Where are you going?" I asked, my voice breaking. He paused. "Somewhere people don't treat my pain like entertainment." Then he looked at me, really looked. And the sadness in his eyes hurt more than any anger ever could. "You didn't just leave me on that road," he said softly. "You left me long before that." Something inside me collapsed at those words. Because I knew he was right. He walked to the door. No drama, no scene. Just a gentle closing sound that felt louder than any slam. Thought. That was the end. But consequences rarely arrive all at once. They unfold. Slowly, a few weeks later, whispers began. At work first, then everywhere. Ryan had told people what happened. The gas station footage surfaced, security videos showing the moment we drove away while I laughed. Online, context disappears. Moments become judgments. My reputation unraveled quickly. Friends stopped calling. Co-workers avoided eye contact. My company placed me on leave. Claire moved away. The same people who laughed that morning disappeared the moment accountability arrived. The world saw what I had done. And suddenly, nothing was funny anymore. One evening, I found a note slipped under my door. Ryan's handwriting. Just one sentence. "I forgive you, but I won't forget." I read it over and over. Because forgiveness didn't bring relief, it brought clarity. Forgiveness doesn't always mean repair. Sometimes it means release. Sometimes it means closure. Sometimes it means the story ends without you. That was the moment I understood something I wish I had known earlier. A single careless moment can change how someone feels safe with you forever. And forgiveness doesn't always come with a second chance. Sometimes it is simply the quiet way someone says goodbye forever. And one person left behind.